Do you remember that magical moment in The Wizard of Oz where the film suddenly switches from black and white to color? Castle of Illusion has something similar, where it changes from yet another retro 2D remake influenced by the 1990 Genesis platformer that it's named after, but it's more willing to switch perspectives and play with expectations, and it's a much better game for it. Castle of Illusion begins with Mickey and Minnie Mouse on a romantic picnic in the woods. They're interrupted by an evil witch named Miserabelle, who kidnaps Minnie and plans to steal her youth. Mickey follows them into the titular Castle of Illusion, where the gameplay suddenly shifts from a 2D side-scroller into a 3D platformer. This isn't the only perspective change in Castle of Illusion. It happens constantly. Most levels begin in 2D, but at some point they'll transition into a 3D maze or a towards-the-camera chase sequence. The game provides a lot of variety not only in how you're looking at it, but in what you're doing, and it does a lot to break up the by-the-numbers platforming. All of the stages end in a boss encounter, which is one of the few frustrating parts of Castle of Illusion. Boss encounters are all pattern memorization. You have to dodge enemy attacks until they open themselves up for a counterattack. They can take as many as 6 or 7 hits. I found myself in these situations where I would get them down to 1 point of health, and then I would die because they changed their pattern slightly on the last attack. Compared to the rest of the game, it's not very imaginative, and it's not very fun. Castle of Illusion doesn't pad its length by repeating things over and over, but that also means that it's a really short experience. I completed the game in just over 3 hours. There are collectibles to get, and you can rerun levels as time trials, but I wasn't really motivated to return to stages that I'd already done. It left me wanting more. Castle of Illusion's greatest boon is that it isn't chained down. It respects the past without trying to repeat it. It stands on its own. And even in the annoying boss battles, it's never as archaic or unforgiving as most retro platformers. You don't need to have played the original Castle of Illusion to enjoy this, and that makes it the best kind of remake.